What is going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and today I have a little bit of a different video for you. I figured we can change up the pace from doing reviews and projects and stuff, and we're going to do an 2022, I guess, updated guitar collection video. The last video I did was last year or so, and I got quite a few new guitars since then, and a few of them have not been on the channel yet. So I figured we can sit down and check them all out together. So, as always, let's jump into it. Alright, first I thought we'd start with one of my newest purchases, and that is this BC Rich KKW 37 SBK. It is the Kerry King Signature 7-string Warlock. I've been looking for a 7-string Warlock for a long time now. There's kind of a backstory to it, which I will get into when I do the review on this guitar. But it is a really cool guitar. Honestly, they're not that high in price. I was able to pick it up for a killer deal, and kind of made a friendship in the process, which that's always cool. But I mean, honestly, for the price, you get some decent specs, and it plays and feels, and the BC Rich pickups sound really good, honestly. So it's a really cool guitar for not a lot of money, which is always a good thing. All right, next we have another 7-string. It is also another recent purchase, and I was able to get this thing for a super good price. It is a Jackson JS 22-7. It is one of the lower budget, cheaper models that they make. I think these things go for like $200 new. I was able to get it for a little over $100, and honestly, one of my main attractions to it was the fact that it had a DiMarzio Evolution 7 in it. Not really sure why the person went with the cream white, but it is what it is. Everyone has their preference. But this thing needs a little bit of TLC, but I think with a good setup, some fretboard work, some fret work, this thing has the potential to play really good, honestly. And from what I can tell so far, it sounds really good. But I think I'm going to throw some new electronics in it, and this potentially might be a really special project coming up if I can find the hardware that I want, but I'll keep you posted on that. But for what it is, it's really not all that bad of a guitar. Next we have a semi-newish guitar. Now, I'm not the rightful owner of this yet, but it's here, so why not put it in the video? We're kind of working on a deal. I was doing some setup work on it for a buddy, and decided maybe I want this thing. And that is a Schecter Diamond Series. It is a C6 Elite, kind of a mid-range level Schecter. I think they're like $300 or something like that. But I fell in love with this thing. I really like the way it looks. The figuring in the flame maple looks really good. The green with the blue burst, I think it looks awesome. It has some hardware changes on it. And honestly, straight out of the factory, the fretboard and the frets were amazing. No really complaints there. I love the figuring in the fretboard itself. And overall, it's just a decent guitar for the price. And I think it has potential to be a great platform to do some upgrades to and make it even better. So probably keep it around and possibly do a review on it in the future. Alright, next, if you've been following the channel for a while, you will probably recognize this guitar. It was a project at one point, and unfortunately for the last episode of me, completing the paint job and putting it together and everything, all that footage was lost. So a bunch of people have been asking about it, and yeah, it kind of is a crappy situation. I probably will throw together a little review video of it complete. But it's this Ibanez Geo. It is the GRG 131DX. It was the red and white version. And I figured I'd do something cool and kind of do my own twist on the EVH Frankenstrat. And I think it came out really good. It has a really hot generic humbucker in it. I did the whole switch thing in the middle. I have a Duncan Solar dual rail in the neck. And let me tell you, this guitar plays really good and sounds awesome, which you will see in the video. It is tuned to drop D right now, and I will pick this thing up all the time to just fiddle on it because I love the way it sounds. It turned out great, and I really like this guitar. All right, next we have a guitar that is pretty special to me. I did an unboxing on this and I was going to do a review, but I'm waiting to hear back from Schecter to find out the exact specs on this guitar, because I always like to have the specs in my review videos. But if I don't get that information soon, I'm just going to make the video and find specs that are the closest I possibly can. But there's a lot of background story to this guitar, which will be in the review, but it is a Schecter S1 Vampira. Basically, I had one of these a long time ago when I was first getting into guitar, and ended up selling it and regretted it ever since. And I spent the last probably 5-6 years of my life searching for one of these. They are super hard to find. I think there's only 150 of them made, but I finally found one for a good price and it's here. So look out for the review video coming up soon. All right, next you might recognize this guitar from the last video I did, if you missed that video, you can click the link here and check it out. And that is the Ibanez JBM10 FX. That is the Jake Bowen signature model. And let me tell you, I absolutely love this guitar. It's probably my one of my top three favorite guitars that I own. I have a little bit of a rant in the video because people do weird things to guitars that I just don't understand. But you can watch that video to find out what I'm talking about. I've been in contact with Ibanez to try to get the missing pieces like the truss rod cover and the original pickups. We'll see what happens, but definitely play this thing a lot and I absolutely love this guitar. Next, we have another Ibanez guitar, which you will probably remember from the review I did. If you missed it, I'll put the link up here and you can check it out. And that is the Ibanez THBB10. It is the Tim Henson signature. And I love this guitar. I've been wanting one for a long time and was finally able to find one at a good price. They seem pretty hard to come by now, used at least. And when they are, they want, you know, a decent amount of money for them. But I was able to get one for a good price, and let me tell you, I love this thing. I have it in drop D right now with 10 to 46 strings on it, and you can basically play whatever you want on it. The pickups sound great. Obviously, the only setback is that it's black and gold, which is a pain in the butt to keep clean and take care of. But otherwise than that, I really, really love this guitar, and I play it a lot. All right, next up we have another familiar one. If you've been following the channel, you've definitely seen it, and that is this Ltd Alexi 200 that is completely customized. Yes, I know it says ESP. That was my decision. People probably hate on it, but whatever, it is what it is. This thing's been through probably 4 or 5 paint jobs, but this is the newest one, which is the Crackle, and it came out absolutely awesome. The back is black, and it's got these custom wooden cavity covers and a custom shaped neck. For the pickup, I have a Duncan Solar in there that I had laying around, and it has a Floyd 1000 in it. Absolutely love this guitar, and it will probably be around for a long, long time, hopefully. All right, next, while we are on the LTD topic, I have this H250, which I've had for a long time, since like 2004. It was my first ever like real guitar that I've ever gotten, and it has a really good story behind it, which I'm actually in the middle of making a video about, so keep an eye out for that. But I've had this thing around for a long time. It's beaten and battered, and it's been through a lot of pickups, a lot of electronics, a couple different bridges, and I still play it to this day, and it plays so good still. And I absolutely love this guitar. They're pretty hard to find nowadays, and when you do find them, they're really not that much money, but I feel like there's just not many of them around. But I love this thing, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It will most likely be that one guitar that stays in my collection forever, because it's very special to me. All right, so I figured we can switch it up a little bit and check out a headless. Now, if you've been following the channel, you've definitely seen this one before, and it is my custom Eart headless. I've made many videos on this, from unboxing to the review, and then I did a whole project series where I put a veneer on it. We did custom control setup. I just have one volume with a push-pull, 3-way switch. The bridge is set up really, really good. This thing plays amazing. It's definitely one of my favorite guitars to play. I believe I have it in drop C sharp right now, but for when I just want to pick up a guitar and fiddle around, you know, sitting on the couch or whatever, this is definitely the go-to. It's super comfortable to play, and it's one of those guitars that sounds really, really good, not plugged in for some reason. And I just love sitting with this thing on my lap and fiddling around, and a lot of people like this guitar, but I'll probably never part with it. But I might make another one, who knows, so stay tuned. And then we have another headless, which is my custom NK headless. You've probably definitely seen this on the channel because I've made quite a few videos about it, from the unboxing to the review, and then I did another project series on it. It used to be like pink with a teal blue neck, and now I kind of made it kind of like Star Wars, Darth Maul, Darth Vader themed, with the red and black. It's kind of the whole theme around it. And I absolutely love this thing. Now, honestly, it does not play as well as the Eart, but it still sounds and plays decent, I should say. I would say the frets probably aren't as good as the Eart guitar. For some reason, the frets on that Eart are just amazing, and they came that way. This thing needed a lot of TLC just to get it to play good, but it also is a older model. I'm not really sure how the new models are, but I'd like to try one. But I love this guitar. It's definitely one of my favorite looking guitars that I own. All right, next up we have another Schecter, which is my Sun Valley Super Shredder. I love this guitar. I've actually sold it and ended up buying it back because I missed it so much. I don't know what it is about it, but as soon as I bought this thing, I fell in love with it. I actually put Fishman Moderns in it, which the combination of the Fishmans and just the playability on this thing, it just makes it super fun to play, and it sounds really, really good. I actually have this in drop A sharp right now, and it holds it really well, and I have nothing to complain about. I literally love this thing, and we'll probably never get rid of it like a lot of my guitars that I own. I've done a review and everything on this guitar, so I'll put the link up here if you want to check that out. And next we have my Solar AB1 6S. It was my first Evertune equipped guitar. I got this from the B-Stock section on the Solar website. I know Solar's kind of getting a lot of mixed reviews right now because they're having some QC issues. I mean, I really haven't seen anything too crazy lately. I've fell into a few issues, but nothing that affects the playability, and it was basically all things I was able to fix myself. But I literally love all my Solars. I have nothing really to complain about, especially this one when I want to, you know, record or lay down something that I just want to sound perfect. Because of the Evertune, I use this guitar. It has a Duncan distortion in the bridge, and I'm not too sure what brand the neck pickup is, but it sounds pretty decent, and you can split, you know, each pickup. It's got the 3-way switch, but I love this guitar. I love the roasted maple neck, and I'm not too fond of the silver. This actually might be one of the project guitars coming up. Well, I will give it a paint job, but I want it to be something really, really cool, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, but stay tuned for that in the near future. All right, and then we have another Solar, which is my Solar T27 FBB. I actually pre-ordered this when it came out, and I fell in love with it. It took a little while to get, but it finally came, and man, I enjoy playing this. I always really wanted like a telly-shaped 7-string, and it was like between this or like an Ibanez or something. And you'll notice I made this custom pick guard. It has no neck pickup because I don't use those anyway in my 7 strings. I have it tuned to drop G sharp, so it's a nice, you know, thick string on it. And I scraped the fretboard. It no longer has that solid ebony color fretboard. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but it has such a beautiful grain in there, so I don't know why they'd want to cover that up. But I posted this on the Solar group, and a lot of people loved it. It kind of looks like like a hoppus sludge, if you will. But yeah, I love this thing. It's set up pretty well, plays pretty well, and definitely sounds really, really good. So definitely a keeper in my book. And then last but not least, for the Solars, I have my Solar A26LN, and this guitar is pretty special to me. For a while, I kind of got out of music and really wasn't playing guitar much. I sold a lot of my equipment. I think I had like 2 guitars at the time, and I just was going through a pretty dark time in life. And this guitar kind of signifies starting that fire again. And ever since then, it's been full on. I probably play guitar and am into it more than ever now. And so this guitar kind of, you know, just signifies relighting that fire under my butt. And I'll never get rid of it. I love this thing. I love the color. It has EMG retroactive hot 70s, which I have actually taken the chip off the bottom and made them so they are passive now. They are no longer active. And I got to tell you, they sound really good. I should probably make a video on how I did that, because a lot of people don't believe me, but these things sound really, really good. I'd say they're comparable to like an EMG HZ or something like that, which a lot of people hate on, but I happen to really like the HZs. But I love this guitar, and it's definitely going to be staying in the collection for probably ever. And then last but not least, as far as my guitars go, I have this old Ibanez Geo, which has been completely repainted. I put a couple different pickups in it. I think it has a Duncan design in it, and all new electronics. I completely stained the neck to make it look roasted. Kind of put like a regular Ibanez logo on there. It's got the classic style tuners. And the whole theme behind this was I really love the Nick Johnson Schecter that he has. And that was kind of what I was thinking when I designed this whole scheme up. But this thing is pretty cool for a cheap guitar. It plays pretty well. I had to replace the saddles, which I still need to kind of work on getting them, getting the radius right. But I mean, it plays pretty well. I have this in drop D right now, and it's just a cheap little guitar that I decided to do a project on that actually came out pretty good. And then for you bass players out there, what would a guitar collection be with at least not owning one bass? So this is one of my 2 basses. It is a crappy, cheap J-Tercer that I kind of reshaped and stained and made like a custom pick guard and put a piece of veneer on it. You know, it's cheap, but it plays well, gets the job done. It sounds okay, not the best. I got to do a lot of work in post to get it to sound good. You know, the body is super, super lightweight, so it has a crazy amount of neck dive. The back of the neck has some nice, you know, bird's eye looking figuring on it. The only thing I hate is it has a gloss fretboard, but like I said, it's a real cheapie, and I kind of just keep it around because I kind of like the vibe that it puts out. And then we have this 5-string Ibanez bass, which I'm literally not even sure what model it is. I should probably look at it, but it's a really nice orange color with a burst. It has a really nice but subtle flame figuring top on there. This thing plays pretty well. I have a super, super fat string on it, so I can, you know, put some bass lines down with like my low tuning stuff that I write. I mean, it's nothing too special. It sounds pretty good. It plays okay. Has a little bit of a truss rod issue that I got to figure out. I probably have to get a new adjuster for the truss rod because it is on its way out of pretty much stripping. So yeah, it needs a little bit of work. But other than that, it's really not that bad. And I kind of like having it around, but I definitely want to look into getting a new bass, something that sounds good and maybe is a little longer of a scale, and something that plays really good too, because I do like fiddling around with bass here and there. And obviously when I, you know, write full mixes, I like putting bass lines down. I don't like using, you know, MIDI stuff or anything like that. I like to do the bass myself. So I got to have a couple bases around, but this thing gets the job done and it's pretty nice looking at the same time. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much it. That is the whole collection, or updated 2022 collection, I should say. If you stuck around this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you as always. I know videos have kind of been spread out more than I want. I really want to get back on my weekly video schedule, but it's super hard with my work schedule. But coming up, I'm going to have a lot more time to do so. So hopefully we can make that happen. If there's any specific guitar that has not been on the channel yet that you would like to see a video on, comment down below and let me know. And I will do my best to make that happen. But yeah, I really want to thank you guys. Sorry that I look like Rudolph. I'm going through a super bad head cold right now. You know, I promise I'm not out like partying or anything like that. It's just the weather change and working outside really wreaks havoc on me. And yeah, I'm dying right now. I probably should just be in bed, to be honest. But I really wanted to make this video and I had a lot of fun doing it. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, be a good person, drink a lot of water. If you're sick, stay in bed, and we'll see you in the next video.